What's up, team? Justin the WOD Nutritionist here, and here at CBG we help you lose body fat, build muscle, crush your WODs without tracking macros so you can look like you do 4 to 5 WODs every single week. One of the most important aspects of building muscle I'm going to go over today, and of course if you want to look like you do 4 to 5 WODs per week, building muscle has to be a component in your plan over time. Helps build more strength, helps us hit PRs, and it helps us look leaner. Fun fact, you can decrease your body fat percentage by putting on more muscle. So don't be afraid to put on muscle, but there's a right way to do it. Today, I'm gonna rank the different foods, supplements, and strategies on our tier list of what's gonna help build muscle the best versus what's gonna decrease your muscle. And I'll go through this starting with the S tier. Now, in our S tier, this is the superb, godlike food strategy supplement to help build muscle. Then we'll go down to our A tier, which is you definitely need to be incorporating these foods and strategies and subs because they're gonna definitely help you build muscle. They're just not godlike. Then we're gonna go to B. Now the B is where things get a little bit shaky. Definitely we wanna incorporate these foods into our diet. They're gonna help with muscle growth, but there are better options out there. The C category, it's hit or miss. These can help build muscle, but it's probably not gonna be something you regularly wanna incorporate into your diet if muscle building is your goal. D, these foods can be in your diet, but it's not gonna help with muscle growth. And then obviously F, do not incorporate these foods, these supplements, these strategies if you're looking to build muscle because it will bring your muscle mass down. Let's start with the first food, and that first food is starting off with a banger, steak. All right, so steak, red meat, any cut, doesn't matter. S tier, godlike. Steak is a full and complete protein. It also has vitamin B12 and iron, all important for more energy, all important for crushing WODs, building muscle. Steak is amazing. It's gonna go in the godlike tier. So if you're not eating red meat, you need to be, especially if you're trying to build muscle, especially if you're trying to crush your WODs, eat steak. I personally like to incorporate steak and red meat at night for dinner. Red meat digests very slowly. You can do this while you go to bed. You can digest it, you can absorb it. It's gonna help with overall muscle growth. So make sure that you're eating steak if you're trying to build muscle. Number 2, food we have here are beans. All right, so beans are a lot of variety of different beans, a variety of, carbohydrates as well as protein in beans. Beans are a pretty great source of protein. We know protein is the most important macro if you're doing 4 to 5 WODs per week, and it's the most important macro if you're looking to build muscle. But per serving of beans, you're not going to get the same bang for your buck as you would steak, for example. And so therefore, I'm going to put beans in the B category. Beans, B, it just fits right there. That's where I'm going to put it. Next is yogurt. So yogurt's an interesting one, right? Because you have fat-free yogurt, regular yogurt, but all of them have a good source of protein. Per serving of yogurt, you're looking at around 15 grams, like in a Chobani, for example. It's a great source of protein directly from animals, of course, so that makes it a complete source. Yogurt, of course, has a little bit of carbs in it, has some other things, but overall, yogurt is a really great source of protein and therefore building muscle. I'm gonna put in the A category. I mean, I don't think it's really up there with some of the other things that I'm gonna go over today in terms of S and godlike, superb, but it is very, very good. I eat yogurt every single day. It's great for gut health and a variety of other things, so I'm gonna put yogurt in the A tier. Moving on, creatine. This is a good one because creatine obviously is present in a lot of meat. It's present in a lot of fish, but there's not enough of it to really get the best bang for your buck, which is why people supplement 5 grams per day, every day to get it. There's only like 0.5 grams in a full 5 ounces of steak. So you'd have to eat literally meat the whole day to get in the amount of creatine required. That actually helps with the performance-based benefits. But creatine itself, it doesn't really have any protein. It is an amino acid at the end of the day, which is good, but really its benefit comes from converting ADP into ATP. I mean, I'm gonna have to put it in the S godlike tier. I mean, creatine is just the best legal performance supplement out there, especially if you're doing 4 to 5 WODs per week. If you're not taking creatine regularly, please start doing it. All the myths around there, I try to debunk them on Instagram weekly to, give you guys a better understanding and feel safe taking it. Very, very important. If you have any questions on it, let me know. But creatine, S, godlike, superb for muscle growth. Moving on. Now we have eggs. Now, eggs are amazing. Obviously, we have the yolk, which has really good fats there, saturated fat, omega-3s. Also, we have the egg white, which is where most of the protein is. Eggs are a complete source of protein. It's literally directly derived. It's a whole chicken, right? It's a whole chicken. It's a complete source of protein. Absolutely phenomenal. When it comes to the serving size, size per egg. You have about 6 grams of protein per egg. That's also really good. You eat 4 eggs, you're at over 20 grams of protein. I'm gonna have to put this in the S tier. I mean, godlike. Eggs are amazing. I eat them every morning. I know a lot of you eat them every morning that don't have sensitivities to them, whether it's egg whites or whole eggs. So keep doing it. It helps build muscle. It's got great amount of protein in it, also healthy fats, omega-3s. So keep getting it in. It's definitely gonna help with muscle growth and help you hit that protein goal. Next, we're going with broccoli. I'm sure as most of you know, broccoli is not a great source of protein. It can definitely keep you satiated. There are a lot of vitamins and minerals there, which is good. But unfortunately, broccoli is not really gonna help us with our muscle building goal. It could certainly help with fat loss because they're almost calorically neutral, especially with the fiber in there. But it's not really gonna help with muscle growth. But it's such a good and healthy food. This is why these tier lists and your goals are so important. I'm gonna put broccoli in D tier. You know, it's just, that's where it needs to be. I'd probably put almost every other vegetable there as well. It's just really not going to give people the benefit they need for muscle growth, and it's a healthy food. It's just not worth it. So incorporating your diet regularly, no problem. It's just not going to be, you know, associated with that muscle building goal that a lot of you have. Next is whey protein. All right, so whey protein is a protein derived from milk. There are 2 proteins in milk. You have casein protein and whey protein. Whey protein is fast digesting, which is awesome, especially post-workout. Gets to that muscle tissue to help recovery. Man, whey protein, complete source of protein, animal derived. I'm gonna put in the S tier. I mean, it's just amazing for muscle growth. Doesn't have any lactose in it. I mean, it's just a great source of, you know, amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, which we know helps muscle growth and recovery. S tier for whey protein. Next is rice. This is an interesting one because rice is a great source of carbohydrate, not a great source of protein. Decent fiber, not crazy, but decent fiber. Carbs can help with muscle growth. I mean, obviously, you know, when we're eating carbohydrates, that's getting to working muscle tissue, stored as glycogen, helps push us in our workouts, but it's not directly associated with muscle building like protein is in the recovery of the muscle, as well as the assimilation of muscle, protein muscle synthesis. Now, carbohydrates, especially in surplus with protein, can activate protein muscle synthesis, mTOR, which is good. So rice is good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually put rice in the C tier. A great source of a lot of things, but it's not directly associated with muscle building. And so therefore I would incorporate it regularly as a great source of carbohydrate. It's just not gonna be directly associated with building muscle. So rice in the C tier. Next, we have alcohol. Now this is interesting. Alcohol is a toxin. Ethanol is a toxin, especially in high doses. You guys know this. I'm sure most of you people listening to this have, you know, consumed alcohol enough to feel buzzed or feel drunk. It really deters the ability for you to build muscle. It takes multiple days to clear out of your system completely. It dehydrates you, puts you at risk for injury, can really affect the muscle building process, especially protein muscle synthesis. It's horrible in all ways when it comes to building muscle. Nothing good about it at all. And so alcohol is going to F tier. That's our first food strategy supplement in the F tier. It just doesn't make sense at all if you're trying to build muscle. I'm not saying you can't include alcohol in moderation. If you do consume alcohol, just know it's not helping you. It's actually putting you in reverse when it comes to your muscle building goal. So keep that in mind the next time you're drinking alcohol and the type of consumption that you want to have. Next, we're going with apple. Apple, great fruit, good fiber, especially if you eat the skin, a great source of carbohydrate, stored as glycogen, and of course stored as fructose in the liver and fills up the liver. It's good and makes you feel satiated. It's not the best for muscle growth. I would say overall it's pretty close to rice. I'm gonna put it in the C tier with rice. I can't put it below that in the D tier with like broccoli because it does have some good carbohydrate content in it, which does help, especially in combination with the right protein for muscle growth. But really without protein, it's not gonna do much in terms of our ability to grow muscle. We're not gorillas where our biology is made up completely different. Fruit doesn't really help us with building muscle in general, but with protein, it's good. So I'm gonna put apples with rice in a C tier. I think that's where it belongs. Next, we have BCAAs. All right, so you guys know my opinion on BCAAs. Not much of an opinion, pretty much a fact. Branched chain amino acids, marketed as building muscle, lose weight, amazing supplement, when in actuality, it's not. BCAAs don't do anything. They're a big waste of money. They only have a few amino acids in there when we need a lot of essential amino acids to be able to stitch together working muscle tissue and recover, assimilate protein muscle synthesis. BCAAs are useless. And so I'm putting in the F category. I mean, if you like it as a pre-workout, that's cool and and all, but it's really not helping you with your muscle building goal. So keep that in mind. It's going in the F column. Put your money into whey protein, put your money into creatine, don't put it into BCAAs, basically a waste. BCAAs in the F tier, controversial but true. Next is avocado. All right, so avocados, great source of fats, have some carbs in there as well. Some of the most healthiest fats you can get are from an avocado. I mean, they're technically a fruit, they have a seed in them, but not really great for muscle growth. You know, fats in general can get you to a calorie surplus. A calorie surplus helps us build muscle, but unfortunately, other than that, avocado doesn't really have that much to offer when it comes to building muscle. Very little protein. So I'm gonna put avocado in the D category. Incorporate it, love it, healthy food. It's just not consistent with a goal of building muscle, except for the fact that it's getting you to that calorie surplus because it's mostly fat, which is 9 calories per gram. So that's where I'm gonna put avocado. Next, green powders. All right, very interesting. So earlier we put broccoli in the D category. Greens powders are a simulation, a variety of vegetables broken down. The amount of fiber, the amount of electrolytes, vitamins, minerals in greens powder are unrealistically low. It's like, why am I paying this much for a greens powder if they're so low in some of these vitamins compared to like what you can get from fruits and vegetables? I think outside of BCAAs, they're probably the biggest supplement scam out there, to be completely honest. Just eat fruits and vegetables, guys. If you don't like vegetables, eat fruits. Consuming fruits or vegetables, put it in a smoothie with some protein, but it's gonna be the best bang for your buck when it comes to just overall health, getting those micronutrients, vitamins in. Look, I'm gonna put it right down there in the F tier. I can't even put it with broccoli because broccoli has so many other benefits than greens powders do. I'm putting greens powder in the F. It's just not worth it, not worth the money. It definitely doesn't help with muscle growth in any sense. Next is oat milk. Okay, so we have a variety of different alternative milks these days. Milk is gonna be the absolute best. And milk I don't think is on this list, but I would actually put milk in the A tier. I mean, just a great source of protein, you know, dairy product, very similar to yogurt. So it has both whey and casein protein in it, amazing. Oat milk doesn't have the same protein content as obviously regular milk, right? And so that's an issue. Certainly good source of carbs. I'm gonna put oat milk in the C category. It's good, but does have some, it's great, a little splash in the coffee. I got some here. I put it in this morning. Tastes great, but it's really not going to help with building muscle, to be quite honest. And so there you go. That's where I'm going to put it. Belongs in the C tier. Next is coffee. All right, well, that makes sense, right? So coffee and oat milk I have over here. I've been drinking it this morning. I drink it pretty much every morning. Interesting thing about coffee, black coffee is 0 calorie. So that's not helping with muscle growth. We know that. Additionally, coffee doesn't have any protein in it, right? 0 calorie, doesn't have any carbs unless you add oat milk, some sort of other milk to it. And so from a calorie perspective, coffee's not really that great for building muscle. The thing is, it does help the uptake of glucose, therefore synthesis of glycogen, which is carbohydrate stored in the muscle, which is good. It just does help the absorption of that, as well as protein, which is good. I'm gonna put it in the B category. It's a little controversial because it really doesn't have anything, like, it just helps and aids with some other things, but that's the way creatine is too. Doesn't really have anything in it that helps build muscle. It's just like a performance supplement that helps if you're doing the other things right. So I'm gonna put it in the B category. That's where I'm gonna put it. I drink it every single morning. I drink a crap ton of it. I probably drink too much of it. Now we're moving on to Snickers. I would say of candy out there, Snickers has to be one of the more just all-encompassing. It has the peanuts in it, which have some good fats, which do have protein. Not the best source of protein or a complete source of protein, but nonetheless, protein. Obviously, it has a good number of calories in it, sugar as well, being a candy. And so for muscle growth, that can be beneficial to get us to that calorie amount. There are better ways to get in calories than Snickers, obviously. I'm gonna put it in the D category. I mean, it's got the calories, which, obviously we know is important for muscle growth, being in a surplus, but other than that, not a great source of protein, and they're better, healthier alternative options that we've gone over so far. So Snickers in the D category. Next is collagen protein. All right, so collagen is got a big craze, especially for those that are, sensitive or intolerant of other protein powders out there. Problem is, collagen's not a complete source of protein, so that's one thing. It's really not that beneficial when it comes to protein muscle synthesis. It is a good way to get in some extra protein throughout the day. Can help with joints, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, hair, skin, nails, joints, ligaments, tendons. But not really protein muscle synthesis and repairing and recovering muscle tissue to grow more. I'm gonna put it in the C category. It's not a complete source. There are better options out there. And so there you have it. Collagen, C category. Next is pre-workout. Now look, I think that there are a lot of different types of pre-workouts out there. Admittedly, a lot of them don't have a lot of protein. Some do have some carbs. It does give energy, so that's good. I'm gonna put it in the C category. I mean, I really don't see a whole benefit in terms of protein muscle synthesis. Some have BCAAs, which you already went over, are useless. Pre-workout, I'm gonna put in the C. If it gives you that motivation to train, get after your wads, to put more weight on the bar, progressive overload, and which is very important to build the muscle, go for it, but it's kind of where I'm at. Next, what are we looking at? We're looking at bacon. Good source of protein, also a good bit of fat. That's good for a calorie surplus, helps build muscle. There are certainly better options. In terms of health, steak is certainly going to be better, and some of those other complete protein sources that we talked about. Bacon is a complete protein source, albeit just not the healthiest, so I'm going to put it in the A category. It's not going to be godlike, can't put it there. It's not on the same level with steak, but still good overall. So that's where I'm putting it. I'm going to put it in the A category when it comes to building muscle. Next, Cheerios. Where did we put the rice and the apple? I think the C category. That's where I put Cheerios in most cereals, right? I think overall they got the carbs in there, which is good. Not much protein. I'm waiting for Cheerio or one of these other burger brands to do a protein cereal, because right now that margin or that gap in the market's still there. You have Magic Spoon, a couple others. I would maybe rank it higher, maybe B category if you add actual protein in it, but overall got to put it in the C category, just with the other carbohydrates, not directly associated with muscle gain or muscle growth or muscle recovery or muscle repair, but can aid in it with the combination of protein. So put it in the C category. Next is chicken. Man, chicken with eggs, with steak, complete source of protein. Gotta love it. You can prepare chicken in so many different ways. You can do so much with it to get in that protein quantity. Per weight, I mean, it's the best bang for your buck out there. Same as steak, high amino acid content, absolutely phenomenal. And so it's got to go in the S, godlike. If you're trying to build muscle, you definitely want to be incorporating chicken into your diet regularly and weekly. It's one of the best sources out there. I would say if you're looking to build muscle, retain muscle, hit PRs, look like you do 4 to 5 watts per week, you need to be eating chicken. Next, we got LMNT or elements. So element has a lot of sodium, a lot of potassium, a lot of magnesium, necessary electrolytes that we could be using to hydrate better, crush our wad, to give us more energy. I do think it's very expensive salt. I think you can do it a lot cheaper. People do love it. It tastes good. It's not going to be directly associated with muscle growth, but it does help us hydrate better, crush our wads more, which we know we need to be training hard to build muscle. And so I'm going to put it in the C category. I don't think it's as good as like a coffee or something like that, but it's definitely going to be beneficial for our wads, especially to be hydrated. It's basically asking me how important is building muscle. So if you like the element, go for it. But overall, there are cheaper alternative ways to also be hydrated, so keep that in mind. So I'm putting it in the C category. Next is Gatorade. So Gatorade, very similar to LMNT, but the thing is, Gatorade has carbs. We need those carbs too for building muscle. So I'm actually going to put Gatorade above Element. Obviously, you guys know the recent scandal with Element 2 putting dextrose. It's not enough carbohydrates in there. Anyway, people that have allergies to dextrose, this is horrible. It's just, they should have disclosed it. I digress. We can save that for another video. But Gatorade is going to be better than Element because it does have the carbohydrates. It does have the sodium in it, which helps with hydration levels and amounts. So I'm going to put Gatorade in the B tier when it comes to muscle growth. It helps give us energy. It helps give us those carbohydrates, which are important. And so that's where I'm going to put it. I think that's where it belongs. I think that's good. That's our last one, Gatorade. This is the tier list. As you can see here, I'm pretty happy with this list. I think, maybe I could change a couple things around, but overall, I think it's pretty good. Stay away from that F category at all costs. Everything is something that you can incorporate. We want to incorporate those foods at the top of this list more often. If we're trying to build muscle, focus on getting 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight in protein and use those foods at the top of this list to help you get there. Take that damn creatine, guys. You need to be consistent with it. It's so cheap. It's like one of the most cost-effective supplements out there and provides so much benefit. I'm gonna keep telling you guys this, so incorporate it regularly. Hope this list helps. If I missed any foods that you want to know help build with muscle growth, go ahead, drop it down below. I'll comment back and let you guys know what tier I would put that food in, so you know if it's going to help you build the muscle you want or not, lose body fat, and crush your wads, all without tracking macros. If you want to book a call with my team to see if you qualify qualify for our program, and if we can help you, there's a link below. Go ahead and click it. We can chat together, talk about your goals, talk about how to help you start crushing your wads, building the muscle, look like you do 4 to 5 wads per week. And if you're not subscribed to this video, go ahead, click that subscribe button. My data team just did some research and told me that 83% of people that watch the videos aren't subscribed to the videos. So we got to fix that. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.